Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, ladies and gentlemen. This is Professor Dr. Fakhr-ul-Islam from Pakistan Study Center, University of Peshawar. Ladies and gentlemen, in this presentation, I am going to give you a summary of Part 1 of the 1973 Constitution. It is to be noted that the 1973 Constitution is comprised of 12 parts, and the codification and organization of the Constitution is such that it is divided into 12 parts. Each part is then divided into chapters. So some parts are small, comprising of only one chapter. Some are bigger in size and they have more than one chapters. Similarly, every chapter is divided into articles, and every article is then divided into sub-articles, clauses, and paragraphs. So as far as the 1973 Constitution's Part 1 is concerned, the title of this part is Introductory. And as the name is self-explanatory, it gives you some introduction of the federation and some other aspects. The total number of articles in this part is 6 articles. It starts with Article 1, which is Republic and its territories. In this article, that is Article number 1, the name of Pakistan has been described, which is the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. And then in the federation, we have the Islamabad Capital Territory and 4 provinces, that is Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Punjab, and Sindh. It is to be noted that very recently, another administrative unit, that is tribal areas, which was called as FATA, has been merged into the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So, Article 1 just gives us the name and then administrative units of the Republic of Pakistan. Then Article number 2 is about the state religion. Pakistan is an Islamic Republic, and in Article number 2, it has been specifically and explicitly discussed that the state religion of Pakistan shall be Islam. In 1985, another article was inserted in the Constitution through 8th Amendment Bill or Act, and that was called as the Objective Resolution to form part of substantive provisions, which means that the Objective Resolutions, which was passed by the first Constituent Assembly in 1949, was included in the preamble of the 1973 Constitution. So from 1973 till 1985, it was in the preamble, but then through the 8th Amendment, it was brought inside the Constitution and was made substantive part of it. The third article of this introductory part is Elimination of Exploitation. Although this is something which pertains to the fundamental rights, but it has been specially mentioned here so that an impression and message is sent to the world and all the people that Pakistan will be a state where no elimination no exploitation will be tolerated. So the article says that the state shall ensure the elimination of all forms of exploitation and the gradual fulfillment of the fundamental principle from each according to his ability to each according to his work. What a beautiful principle it is. I am repeating, from each according to his ability and to each according to his work. Ladies and gentlemen, the third article of this introductory part of the 1973 Constitution, the fourth one, the fourth one is about right of individuals to be dealt with in accordance with law, etc. Again, I would say that this is also something which is about fundamental rights chapter, and we have a very lengthy chapter of fundamental rights in this constitution. But keeping in view the importance of dealing with or treating the individual citizens in accordance with law, this special provision has been given in the introductory part. The title of the article number 4 is Right of Individuals to be Dealt with in Accordance with Law, etc. And it says that to enjoy the protection of law and to be treated in accordance with law is the inalienable right of every citizen, wherever he may be, and of every other person for the time being within Pakistan. And then, this is a general statement, and then the article has been further divided into some points which are very important to be noted. Point number 1 of this article is that no action detrimental to the life, liberty, body, reputation, or property of any person shall be taken except in accordance with law. This is very interesting. I mean, these 5 things enumerated in this point are: life is dear to everybody, liberty, every citizen and human being wants to be free. Body, every person loves his body, and he or she will not allow any other person to harm it. Then reputation is something which is very dear to the individual. And finally, the property which every individual loves and he wants to keep it with him. So the article said that no such action will be taken against these 5 things which is detrimental and against these things. And these will not be taken from the individual, but except in accordance with law. If law demands, then all these things or one of these things or more than one of these things may be snatched from the human beings. The second point of article number 4 is no person shall be prevented from or be hindered in doing that which is not prohibited by law. Again, very interesting. I mean, you cannot prevent a person from not doing certain things if that is not prohibited by law. I mean, law will decide that which thing has to be done and which thing will not be done. The third point is no person shall be compelled to do that which law does not require him to do. I mean, this is quite opposite to the previous point, that you cannot force a person and ask him to do certain thing if that is not legal or not demanded by law. So this article number 4 in the introductory part is very, very important. If this is not implemented in letter and spirit, then you can see that how the legal rights of a person may be usurped and may be discriminated. Article number 5 is something which is about the duties of the citizen. I mean, in the previous article 4 and 3, these were rights of the individuals. But here, loyalty to state and obedience to the constitution and law. And it says that loyalty to the state is the basic duty of every citizen. I mean, this is something which certain people in Pakistan, they don't take care of it. But, in every civilized country, every citizen, he or she is, loyal to the state. Then the next subclause says that obedience to the constitution and law is the inviolable obligation of every citizen, wherever he may be, and of every other person for the time being in Pakistan. This clause tells us that obedience to the constitution and law is such a duty of the citizen which he or she cannot deny. Not only the citizen of Pakistan, but if some other person comes to Pakistan and he lives here for the time being, it is his or her duty to be obedient to the constitution and law of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The sixth and most important article of the 1973 Constitution, Part 1, which is the last article of this part, is the Article 6, Article of High Treason. It is to be noted that this is the only article out of 280 articles of the 1973 Constitution which protects the Constitution, which is a watchdog and which is a guardian of the Constitution. The details of this article will prove this fact beyond any doubt. The article reads that any person who abrogates or subverts or suspends or holds in abeyance or attempts or conspires to abrogate or subverts or suspends or hold in abeyance the Constitution by use of force or show of force or by any other unconstitutional means shall be guilty of high treason. I mean, look at the wording, such strong wording has been put in this article, that if a person abrogates is the total scrapping of the Constitution. Subversion of the Constitution means that you change it to that extent that it is destroyed and subverted. Then suspension means that you stop acting upon the Constitution for the time being. Similarly, holding in abeyance means that again you suspend it for a particular time. So any person who does this, he or she will be guilty of high treason. But not only that, the person takes that action, but if he is part of the conspiracy regarding abrogation, subversion, or suspension, or holding in abeyance of the Constitution, he will also be declared as guilty of high treason. The next clause of this article number 6 says that any person aiding or abetting or collaborating the acts mentioned in clause 1 shall likewise be guilty of high treason. If a person provides aid or help to any other person who subverts or abrogates or suspends the Constitution, he will also be equally declared as guilty of high treason. For instance, if you have a federal cabinet and it holds a meeting, and the Prime Minister presides over the meeting, and this meeting, God forbid, uh, recommends the abrogation of the Constitution, then everybody sitting in the meeting will be a person who collaborator, and he or she will also be held responsible for that conspiracy. Then Article 2, Clause 2A has been inserted recently, that an act of high treason mentioned in this article in the above one or two clauses shall not be validated by court, including the Supreme Court of Pakistan. Interestingly, in the life of 1973 Constitution, it has been twice uh, suspended by two military dictators. First, General Ziaul Haq in 1977, and then General Musharraf in 1999. On these two occasions, when the case was taken to the Supreme Court of Pakistan, the Supreme Court validated this act and giving certain reasons that these actions were necessary to be taken. So, in a way, the actions of the military dictators were twice legalized by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. So, here it was in the form of Article Constitutional Amendment 18 in 2010, that this new clause was added, that in future, even the Supreme Court of Pakistan will not be able to validate such kinds of action. Let me add that General Musharraf had suspended this constitution for a second time in 2007, and that was the year when Iftikhar Chaudhry was the Chief Justice of Pakistan. So the Supreme Court did not validate that action until the presenting this part number 1 of the Constitution to you. The case of high treason is pending against General Musharraf, but he is away in a foreign country. Then the last thing about this high treason article number 6 is that who will take action against a person to be treated and to be sued in the court of law regarding high treason. So this article itself says that Majlis Shura, that is Parliament, shall by law provide for the punishment of persons found guilty of high treason. This thing is under the purview of Majlis Shura or Parliament to enact a law which will provide for the punishment and all details of high treason cases. Let me tell you that such a law has already been enacted by the Parliament, which has a complete detail that one thing I would like to mention, that the federal government is empowered to file a case against any person who is guilty of high treason. So, ladies and gentlemen, you notice that this part of the Constitution is so important, and so many important things have been embodied in this part. Although it's a small part and it has only one chapter and only 6 articles, but in terms of its importance, it reigns supreme as far as the total parts and articles of the Constitution are concerned. Thank you so much.